Hi everybody and welcome to Slough Safeguarding Partnership Summit. This is just a very brief report on the highlights from the subgroups. Okay, usually these events have a slot to update you on highlights from the subgroups, and this is it. This slide takes you through the main news really. You'll notice I'm not referring to all of them. I'm just pointing out the key highlights. So starting at the bottom is the COVID-19 information sharing group, which is about adults and children. Two separate meetings held on the same day. It was set up in response to partners' concerns at the beginning of lockdown to identify and manage the risks posed by COVID-19. It has produced a risk log, which is led by the SLG. It was meeting fortnightly, then monthly, and now we're getting back to fortnightly again for children and monthly for adults. It's working very well in that we're able to de-snag, put people in touch with each other, and resolve day-to-day management problems. The main concerns it's identified are ensuring that our response to contextual concerns are appropriate and the child gets speedy help, and just anticipating the surge and volume increase to the front door, as well as the additional issue about workforce fatigue. The COVID-19 produces multi-agency close monitoring, which is really quite helpful for everybody. A new Safeguarding Children Exploitation Group was formed to closely examine our multi-agency arrangements around how we respond to contextual concerns. It's coming up with quite a few areas that we want to work on, which I'll talk about in a minute. The Front Door Monitoring Group has also been created to resolve some recurring problems in relation to the timeliness of strategy meetings and our multi-agency response. We get data from the Children's Trust and from Adult Social Care in relation to volume and themes, etc., so we can have a look at that, so the decisions are evidence informed. The trends are in relation to children has been a lower rate of referrals when compared to the same time last year, but a higher proportion of those referrals proceeding to safeguarding inquiries. The key themes are around domestic abuse and contextual safeguarding. Adult safeguarding has seen a significant rise in safeguarding concerns overall, really, since the onset of lockdown. While initially there were very few referrals, now there's an increase, significant increase on this time last year. So the volume is really increasing overall. So moving on then to the Learning and Development Group, which is led by Janine Edwards, it has agreed to forego all face-to-face training, at least until the end of the financial year, because I think it's more sensible to concentrate on what's actually needed. This does present a challenge as practitioners still need training to develop their skills around partnership working, and especially so right now with social distancing rules and changing advice, etc. Janine has worked with partners to produce radically different training. There's a basic safeguarding video on YouTube, which is for everybody and includes the voluntary sector. She's also done online video training around the multi-agency risk tool, which is on video. The multi-agency risk tool, or MART, is a tool for use when working with adults who make decisions that put them at risk, but they do not meet the criteria for social care intervention. It will also serve to work with older young people who are at risk of exploitation and reaching adulthood, so it's an important training priority. Janine is currently working with partners to develop online exploitation training that will be all age. And the strategy from the Learning and Development Group has been put onto the website along with the training offer. The new Safeguarding Children from Exploitation Group, or SCEG, has emerged from the risks we identified and probably exaggerated by lockdown as well. It's a multi-agency group and so far has had 2 meetings and has identified key actions it wants to address in the next 6 months, developing and clarifying multi-agency processes around contextual safeguarding, particularly around children who do not meet the criteria for child protection procedures. And this will heavily involve early help and schools and looking at the development of concise risk management plans. The group is also working with Violence Task Force to promote the local Life Plan campaign. And Janine is also looking at trauma-informed training, which is in development. The group is very well attended with widespread concern by partners to make improvements locally. Moving on then to the case review groups identified on this structure, but it represents two groups at the moment. The Safeguarding Practice Review Group in relation to children and the Safeguarding Adults Review Panel. They came together for a whole day in July and developed and improved local arrangements to respond to case reviews. It led to a whole new set of processes and guidelines for the process of referring and management of the review process. There's been no policy change, and it has improved the skill set of this group overall, I think, and improved all of our confidence in how we manage and respond to these situations. For example, we explored the topic of skill challenge all day. David Byford, who is currently drafting a safeguarding practice review for us and is an independent consultant, he was with us for the whole day and provided scrutiny and challenge. And we finalised the day in a presentation to David Peplow, our new independent scrutineer, who gave very positive and constructive input. So we're reasonably confident that the end product has been very well informed and informed by challenge as well as everything else. Also, myself and one of our vice chairs, Joe Tippett, and David Peplow, we met with the National Safeguarding Review Panel to discuss rapid review processes and reports because we wanted to improve our reports, and that has led to very constructive help and advice. So overall, with the development day and the meeting with the national panel, it has led to significant improved arrangements overall. Both the children's and adults groups are very, very busy. There's a high volume of work for partners attending those meetings in terms of their involvement and their contributions. There's also a very high level of work for the Safeguarding Partnership team. So in children's, for example, over the last year, 10 rapid reviews were carried out in the last calendar year, 6 of which were in relation to children and knife crime. In adults, 2 safeguarding adult reviews have been published, and a recent scoping exercise, which is similar to a rapid review, led to agreement to carry out a safeguarding adult review. But we will do that in a very concise way. We also had one scoping exercise on a young adult that led to a decision not to carry out a SAR. Also, thanks to David Peplow's contact with Sky, we have put this group forward to be considered for a national pilot on new methodology, and we're awaiting the outcome for that. So fingers crossed, we might do really well. I also need to mention that with children's, there's 2 safeguarding practice reviews underway. One of them is almost complete in relation to neglect, but we can't publish yet. Because of the ongoing criminal proceedings issue. However, we have produced briefing sheets and are about to produce an action plan from the meeting that we're having on Monday. Each of the partners have also been advised to deliver on the actions recommended by the IMRs. So while we're not publishing, it doesn't mean we're not delivering on the learning. So it's really important that we emphasise that. Now, when you look at the One Comms group, it's done a fantastic job in the last year, but particularly in the last few months since the onset of lockdown. This group is made up of communication leads in all the partner agencies. It's been highly instrumental in delivering safeguarding partnership messages and also community safety messages to the community during lockdown. Messages were produced on various social media and disseminated very quickly at the onset of lockdown via this group. Slough, I want to make a special thanks to Slough Community Voluntary Services, CVS, because they were highly instrumental in producing very, very quickly hard copy posters, etc., and distributing to people's homes and to supermarkets and to the local small shops. They were absolutely fantastic, and we can't thank them highly enough. And some of you will be familiar with the images that we produced, so well done everybody, including the Community Safety Partners team, who did a brilliant job in domestic abuse, and my team on a collective poster, really, that you all see at the bottom of my emails. Now, if you see those two QA groups there on the right, they are actually sort of the instrumental groups that are delivering on behalf of the tactical group. The tactical group has met just once since the onset of lockdown, but during the last year, it's only new. It took quite a few meetings for us to get ourselves into a frame of mind where we could produce a multi-agency learning and improvement framework, um, and also a multi-agency data set. And we've now just about got there, which is really, really good. We cancelled one meeting and we just had another meeting recently where we finalised those arrangements. And all we've got to do now is populate the data set, which will give us a really good idea of what's happening with multi-agency performance evaluation. All of you are represented on that group, so you should be familiar with the business. Last but not least, the SLG itself. It has met twice since our last event and has been overseeing multi-agency risk management and problem solving. It has mandated work to bring partners together to make improvements in partner work at the front door to improve the timeliness of our response. All partners are under intense pressure, so this area needs additional scrutiny and support to ensure we make improvements. The SLG members will be with you throughout the morning, and they can address any areas of business directly throughout the morning. If you have any questions or ideas or suggestions, then just talk to the members of the SLG. Right. My team and I are working on looking at ways that we can help partners in each of those meetings understand what's going on in all the other meetings. So we're developing some ideas, like, for example, making sure the structure chart is available to each meeting and bringing people up to speed on the business of all the other subgroups, not in any great detail, but just so as people know that the remit of this group is X and the remit of all the other groups is different. This will help people understand what's going on and give them an idea of the focus for each of those individual groups. The other idea we've come up with is perhaps producing a monthly bulletin for partners, or if we can do it monthly, which is really just about making sure everybody knows what's going on in the system. Now, we have produced a really good newsletter, which has gone down extremely well. And that newsletter is targeted at the general professional community, and also the wider community as well will have access to it, particularly the voluntary sector, which is really important. But I was thinking really more about those who are members of the partnership, perhaps producing something that's just for them, because I think that might help. But all ideas welcome today. Just want to say a big thanks to everybody for their commitment to accounting for their performance around safeguarding in the annual report, and for this new and radically different way of delivering an annual report, which I hope you'll find is much more engaging and much more dynamic. We're aiming to bring a draft annual report to the SLG in December. Well, rather, that's David Peplow was aiming to do that. But we'll keep you informed, because you just never know with emerging issues. But that is certainly our deadline. So we'll keep you posted on that. Finally, a big thanks to everybody, and especially to my team, Safeguarding Partnership team. We have a new person with us, Emma Fadipe, Contextual Safeguarding Coordinator for the team. She's on a short-term assignment with us, and she's already proving to provide us with excellent support. So I'll see you all in your small groups shortly. Thank you.